Hello, you've clicked on a CP368 Productions video. Channel rail fanning and model railroading. Model railroading in the back. Rail fanning from the vehicle. In this channel, you will find that, plus live streams talking about trains and eventually watching trains. And a variety of other things, whatever I feel like putting on the channel, because it's my channel after all. And that reminds me, this is my channel alone. I decide what goes on this channel and what I film, no one else. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and get to the video. Watch more videos. There are over 400 videos on this channel. Now let's get into the video. Okay, it's been a while since I did anything with the model railroad. As you can see, in the last, I moved the tracks around a little bit right now, just now. And you notice there's this little scratches right here. This is for the outline of the approximate creek. It's going to be quite narrow, but that's about where it's going to be. Since there'll be a fascia on here, I might move this over to the edge a little bit and start the angle down into the creek here. I'm going to have to make the creek go over a bit here, which isn't prototypical, but have it go over a little bit so that there's enough room for the bridge that'll be on that piece of foam when I cut that down to turn the track and put it on the bridge on that piece of foam. And this piece of foam will get cut down and used for the module after that. I still haven't decided if I'm going to do it too thick or just one. The creek should be pretty deep. I should measure the creek, how far the creek is from the bridge deck. How far the creek goes from the bridge deck. I looked at the Sanborn maps, and these two tracks, there was no driveway between these two tracks. These two tracks were right next to each other, and there was a driveway between them, which makes sense. If you have you don't need a driveway on both sides of a boxcar to unload it. You just need it on one. So you have the platform for the freight depot, which I moved this track over because these two marks just were measuring the freight depot. They weren't measuring the platform. So what I'm going to do is have a little bit extra space for the platform. It wasn't that deep to measure out. I can't remember how far the eaves came out, 3 foot or 8 foot. I have that on a notebook here someplace. I don't have that on the note. Oh well. I would really like to have part of the street, so I might end up having to omit the creek. So I'm not going to carve the creek until I know for sure what I'm going to have there. This track arrangement is where it's going to be. So no matter where it is on here, this can be cut and we can put the freight depot in service. And for the live stream next time, I think I'm going to cut up some of these and make a mock-up of the depot. So we have a building, and I might put together this kit. Depends on if I have a work surface or not, because I should have a work surface for that. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to get out my Dremel and I'm going to do a little cutting of track, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll see you later. Okay, now we have one track cut. Have a little bit of a goof with that tie. You got a little scuffed up, but not too bad. I don't think really anybody will notice that. Dremel cut. Clean through, no issues. I don't have the thing now. This I cut it a little uneven. It came unsecured. I had nails holding it in place, and it came a little unsecured, and it flopped around a little bit, and thus resulted in a little uneven cut. But that's not too much to worry about. This piece of track, I'll go over there. The rails are even at the end over here. So now on to cut the other track. Now I'll cut the other track on camera. So I got my switch here, and the switch, it's gonna there we go. Go right here. So this track needs to line in right about here. There's a little problem with that. That tie is going to be, so I have to cut it right about here. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a marker to mark where to cut, but that's not much of an issue. I probably should not cut it with it up that high in the air, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Just need to make sure it doesn't move around too much like it did before. So just use these nails to make sure it doesn't swing around. Okay, that's nice, and it moves a little bit, but it's not too bad. Now we turn this on. Now I cut it at about, I think that's a 5 or 6. I think it's 6. And there we go. That is cut. There's a nice gap there for expansion and contraction. And the pieces I cut off will just work over here. They are perfect because there's going to be a little bit of a fascia between here. So it'll be about that. So that is almost perfect. I'll just have to trim a little bit off with the Dremel. I'll do that when it's in a clamp or something, so it's held very securely. But yeah, that'll get the railroad back up and running. I can just put a straight piece of track, attach that to this, attach that right onto here, and we'll work with it that way. Well, actually, that puts 2 tracks in service, but I do need to trim this down and put that. So I guess I'll just have 2 tracks working right now, and we'll figure out the rest later. Well, you know what they say, measure twice and cut once. I had thought I had measured it right. Keyword thought. I wondered why I came out with two different size tracks, because they were both 3-foot pieces of box track. Well, just as I just connected the rail joiners to the track that'll be next to the depot, and I was doing it this way, and then I looked down. But you know what? It's not that bad, because still we have this piece of track and this piece of track, which is the correct length I need for that. So that's not too bad, but that kind of ticks me off. But that little piece could be used somewhere else on this layout or the big layout. So it's not really that big of a loss. Just that cut down is still a usable piece of track. It probably won't bend very easily, but you never know. Yeah, this doesn't bend very easily, and that's about the same size as this, but I gotta cut that little bit off of that. It keeps sliding. Gotta cut that little bit off of that, and there's a little bit on this that I have to cut off. But Dremel works really well. It does. You do kind of notice how that's curved a little bit. But you know what? That's not really that big of an issue. It's not going to cause a derailment. So yeah, so a little bit of a mess up, but nothing that is too horrible. It just means I have to cut the track again, which kind of sucks, but gets me some more practice. So I got to cut that again, and then we'll be back. And then I got to cut that again, but I'm going to put that in another video. So from CP Silver Springs Milepost 368, the Norfolk Southern Tier line, keep on loving trains. Tim out.